thousands of miles away. Detecting, for example, illnesses such as cancer, or warning owners, this is mostly dogs, of impending epileptic attacks or high blood pressure. Detecting emotional states in others, for example, fear particularly. Detecting hormonal states in others. Detecting when a female, for example, is in ovulation, but equally animals being able to detect when human females actually are ovulating. Detecting the presence of buried objects, such as the truffle pigs here, but also you can have the example of St. Bernards digging in the snow to find buried humans or other animals. Amazing examples of animals being able to trace their owners or companions who are not at home, they've gone somewhere distant, and making long journeys to be reunited with them. Alternatively, particularly migratory species, actually finding their way back home from enormous distances, often thousands of miles, and often just to a specific place. Also detecting things that we can't detect. For example, electromagnetic fields, such as is being sort of visualized here in the water. Ultrasonic, but also infrasonic frequencies, sound frequencies. Infrared and also ultraviolet light frequencies. Locating objects using sonar, using things like sun compasses, or even reading celestial maps. And another one which many of us have heard of, animals appearing to be able to sense far better than we can, things like impending storms and earthquakes and so forth. Now, before actually looking in more detail at each specific sense and some of these extra senses I'm talking about, let's just try to give you an impression of really how all mammals, how their nervous systems, in fact most other species, are really organized to deal with energy from the outside world and to interpret it. Just to give you a sort of generic sensory system, this is how they all tend to work. And you start right at the beginning with almost the most important cells we have. These are sensory receptors. And what they do is capture energy and convert them into the language of our nervous systems, that is, into electrical impulses, so that they can be interpreted by our brains. And there are a whole host of them. So, for example, there are chemical receptors, particularly smell and taste. They can actually latch on to specific chemical molecules and turn that into electrical energy, convert and send it to the brain. There are so-called mechanoreceptors, such as this hair cell in the skin here, where literally mechanical displacement of that when you're touched, or for example also in the ear,